Hey everyone, welcome to Co-Create Talks. Today we're going to talk about the freelance hustle, the good, the bad, and the faking it till you make it moments. And who better to join us than Nikko Ratilla? She's been in the game for 14 years, balancing hosting, creative gigs, and making the raketera life work. So we'll dive into what it really takes to be a multidisciplinary artist today. How do you build a network? How do you set your rates? How do you deal with imposter syndrome? And most importantly, how do you actually get paid doing what you love? So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get into it with Nikko Ratilla. Nikko, hi! Welcome to Co-Create Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here. So I know that we've known each other for quite a while, but I want to give the audience a sense of what you do. So why don't we start off with going through your journey into the creative field, perhaps talking about a bit of your spoken word journey and all the other things that you've done so far in your creative freelancing career. Freelancing, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm basically a raketera.
I love that.
I do a lot of things, and but since law school, it has come down to being a radio jockey, and then the event hosting, and some other things like voice acting also. Or I render also voices for some clients for their videos. So pwede siya company, pwede put siya for weddings, stuff like that. So yeah, but I used to start off with like the odd jobs and all of those like basic bitaw ni mo na skills from school, and like, you know, from just being a little girl doing the collage and then to layouting, and from elementary as a writer to like newspaper, so things like that. So anything that I could get my hands and skills on and earn from it, I'm like, gee,
Nice.
magkano?
So people
So it's passion and then income. So I think I'm just really blessed to be able to get money out of the things that I also enjoy doing. So parang kana siya. So basically a raketera. So like a story I told you kanina about, you know, someone approaching my current boyfriend, and hopefully the last. With an ex-boyfriend na claim. Parang, so she's your girlfriend mo si Nikko, ang babaeng walang pahinga. Yeah, so I really do a lot of things, and so yeah, raketera, ang babaeng walang pahinga, and I like how you put it, yun, multidisciplinary.
Yeah, that's the English. Sure, it is the run.
Ateneo, LaSalle. But in the Polo context, parang para mas makasabot sila, siguro raketera, freelance creative is what I also say sa microphone when I do gigs.
Right. So how did you find your voice into all these? Like, you know, diba, and everything that you do, it's always about how, maybe about your insights, about like, how did you start off? Because I just want to give the audience sort of like an idea, siguro for those who are also in the same spectrum and maybe more venturing, or siguro yung no idea and how to start there. How would you parang advise anyone starting into that kind of multidisciplinary? Kasi it's difficult, diba? Like, it's hard to find maybe a niche, or maybe, diba? Because, you know, like you said, it's always about like whatever you do na parang you can earn from, go, diba?
Go. It's very coincidental kasi I also had somebody message me last 29th of January asking the same thing. But the question was, Ate Nix, do you think bagay ko mag-hosting? Yes. And up until now, I still have this a very bad imposter syndrome. Like, I would look at myself in the mirror and I really do not fit into the conventional beauty standards in the Philippines. Like, I would also look at other female hosts and they really fit in. Parang mestiza and, you know, height and then body, and parang talagang like doll-ish, that you can dress them up and you can put them on the stage. But as for me, this is something I hold on to, is just be available. Because the freelancing thing, like doing gigs, when I say gigs, like as an event host, it all snowballed into this career now because I was just available. Like I would get calls. It started with just a little analog event, and then I'd get another one simply because I was available. Even ngayon, like I do believe I get those schedules because I'm available, not because I'm the best around, I'm the prettiest around, ako yung pinaka-marketed, like best to market host around. It's because I'm available. So if it lands on my lap and I check my schedule and I brace myself, parang this is a wedding, it's a corporate event. So I'm just like, anyone can do it. It's like, alam mo yun, compared to what you see or what you expect. So me, I work on what I have or who I am and be available, show up. And you just hold the microphone, stand there and do your thing.
That's the thing kasi it's ironic, right? You say you have imposter syndrome and yet you're facing these people, diba? Like, we're not necessarily the outgoing type, Nick, diba? We always have our own space most of the time. Parang how do you practice going out of your shell and parang being just there on stage and speaking? What are your rituals? Parang ganun.
Me, it's like, I'm gonna get paid. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be very honest.
That's all right.
Yeah, because I grew up in a family of vendors. So anything at all that we can sell, vegetables. I was the pupil in school who sold yema, munchkin,
Part-time.
stickers, like rare stickers I got sa SM kasi nakakapagbiyahe sa Manila, ganyan, and I bring it home, like 10 pesos each, na overpriced tax. Sorry, pero bata mo po ito. Tapos, malaki ang pangangailangan. At saka,
Love siya. So 10 pesos is okay.
So I'd really have to show up. It's just really about showing up. And to be more candid about it, sometimes it's faking it until you wrap things up and you get paid. That's the reality of it. Gusto ko sanang gana ko mag-ingon na parang, this and that, but in my case, I'm gonna speak for myself, especially when you go through something terribly personal and you just can't put it, bring it to work, or you bring it to work. So that is when you fake it until you wrap things up, you get the job done, and hopefully more than what is expected of you. You put your makeup on, you dress up, and you show up there. So kung dili kaya na parang mapep talk, nga na bitaw, sometimes it's just telling yourself na you committed to this. They're expecting you to show up and do your job. So just for 4 hours, Nick, let's just compartmentalize, set it aside. And later on, after you get paid, you can buy wine and you can sulk about it. But for now, it's just like
the gift you're paid. Because you're not paid to sulk, right? So at least you do something like while and then you get paid. So let's circle back sa you keep mentioning the pay bit. So I just wanted to ask this because a lot of creatives have a hard time pricing their work. And siguro for the field of like siguro hosting or wedding industry, how do you position yourself?
Here sa local rates, especially sa Dipolog, as much as I would want to also place a better rate for myself, like knowing this is the kind of job that I can deliver, I can bring to the table, pero syempre your co-suppliers will set the tone for you. Like parang, nga yung rate, si Kuan kasi nga yung rate, and especially if senior sila na ko. So that is like an indirect way of saying na maybe you should also adjust because your senior is parang ganon. So they have a say, yes, and they have a benchmark. Whereas, if I go to Cebu, I can actually ask the coordinator right away na, what's the rate ba? What's the asking price? Anong area for this kind of service? So I would level with that also. And if after siguro sa trabaho, like last time I experienced at Cebu na, they gave me this like base rate sa host there, and then plus the shipping fee, the transportation expenses, because they
Parcel.
parcel. Yung laki ng parcel nila. They had to ship me. They had to transport me from dito sa Dipolog all the way to Cebu stay and then the stay. But afterwards, they were very kind to also add a little more. Yeah. So, and then an offer na, maybe you want to stay here? Oh, why not? Why not? Right? Sana, but yeah. So it really differs. It really differs. So as of this point, 14 years of hosting, and yet still that is something that I still grapple on. Medyo maglisod pag yapon. I find it hard to actually set it. And I know you've been very like, no, you should.
Yeah, I think we've had that discussion before where I felt like I had to stay. Na coming from a creative myself, I've done some I've experienced being lowballed and how I address that. So I'm curious in how you would adjust that as well. So I guess it's really more on knowing, or I guess, sige, 14 years, right? So
Yeah.
when you're starting, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've experienced or gotten some jobs that paid me less than what I felt like I deserved because I needed to be parang trusted in a way, or be at least parang pro bono.
Yeah, pro bono.
It's also like a service to the community and for them to somehow know what you do.
Yeah.
Diba? So I think that's necessary, don't you think?
Yes. It's really necessary na I have somebody, my junior now, and I would advise her parang if they offer this, parang base comparing to the other newbies also at it's too low, but you can set it anina rate na delicate masyadong taas, yan ba? That's like, di naman po sa ingon no, na kanang magpabarat, di nga na ba? But it's very important to know your market and to ride along with it, gain experience, and then later on, maybe you can have also the upper hand to really do ask you to drop a price na this is ano. So, but unless, ngayon na ba, like, ang important thing when you're starting is to really build a network and then get a lot of experience. Kana lang sa Jod. So, if you price too high, and then they can, get others naman also, ano ba. So, for now,
Just I think the competition is very tough, and there's a lot of people, talented people now who are in the field. Yeah, like you can get different hosts and different styles. Like, I think that's the difficult part. But you always have to consider pricing as the one big thing that you need to.
And sometimes they don't understand the craft or, ano yung pinakatrabaho, the essence of having an events host. So most of those clients who would like to have a host in their events would just go for that, yung very low lang dinner rate. Just, so, parang lang, parang ganyan. So, I encourage naman my junior na parang for now, antos lang gamay, diba? Just stick up with it and then show them what you got also. Show them na there's actually also a standard ba in events hosting na dili lang po basta-basta. Na kay barato lang, kay lang. So, yun ko nga. Because if you price yourself too low, I don't think you'd be encouraged also to do a really good job and serve yourself. Parang ganun. If it's too low, maka-demoralize it siya.
And it just be frank, like, you've been frank the first time about the it's really more on, I think the one motivating factor for you to do a really good job is really how you're paid as well.
Yeah, right.
And, it's your bread and butter. So, talking about that, I want to ask, like, you've always been in the freelancing industry. I've been like the corporate girly and she's like the freelancing girly. And I want to ask, like, how are you doing or managing that parang freelancing? Would you recommend freelancing for?
I would recommend freelancing, yes. But I've noticed that, let me just cite example. So I have a friend A who is like really willing to put in the work that I don't need to meet with this friend and really mentor this friend and really check up from time to time. Because I would just have to really give the opportunity and this person will show up. Yeah, and show up and really do the job. And like no matter what it is, like always delivers. And then there's also another one who is willing, but there's just really a lot of problems. Personal stuff will complicate things. Like, medyo high maintenance din naman siya. Like, I would really have to also meet always, grab a cup of coffee, and then ask, how are you? Ganyan. So, medyo high maintenance siya in a way na need mo siyang i-nurture, i-encourage, So that's like, willing man siya, but siguro sa tiba ni. They really like, the other one is gutsy, but this one is quite soft. But I like kudos. I would still always check up with this person. Do you still want to do this? Or baka you want to go like 8 to 5 para mas kuan ka, mas stable. But then, and I would like suggest something. Maybe you want to get a mentor, get another person to help you, something like that. And it may take a while for this person to respond to that advice. But if that person will do it, if I say, maybe you get a mentor or a coach, and after some time, kuha siya coach. So, okay, willing ba siya? So, there's really that too. I can't say na if you have to be this and this, you have to be that and that. It's just that it really depends on you. Your growth will really depend on you. How willing you are. And of course, yun, how gutsy you are. Kailangan talaga ligon og dughan, ligon og, yeah. It's really that siguro. I forgot all the
Stems from, when we discussed this early on about it being a privilege. Like somehow if you have the capacity to actually what do you call this, parang entertain or parang just select a few jobs ganon and still be secured with like having something to eat in a day or something like that. I think it's okay, but like for us that has been like hustling for a very long time, and you mentioned this a while ago, diba, that you started off with relatives who have done the practice of like being mga vendors in Llido. So you train up to have that kind of lifestyle, mga kind of hustle yun.
Yeah.
So it's not for, because I'm really curious in how to do that, kasi now that with a kid, I think it's very difficult for me, and I'm stuck with 9-5. So like I really, really love the diversity of projects that you get to. That's the privilege of like doing freelancing, the diversity of the projects that you get to work with or work on, right?
Yeah.
Like, kasi I don't think any creative is ever interested in just that one thing. I think everyone, yes, all multidisciplinary. It's just that for some, they have to focus. So, yeah.
But for the information of everybody, this, I don't have kids. I'm not yet married. And my boyfriend and I, we live separately.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should have another interview on how I'm able to manage like with a kid like you.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? With a kid like you, and also with you have a different discipline kasi being able to stick with a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as for me, I'm not diagnosed, but I think the longest that I can focus on one thing is like editing, audio editing. I think 4 hours, and then after 4 hours, I can't.
It's a lot
more stay here, so I need to go out. I told you my coffee break is 2 hours, and then before I go back and do that another long stretch again. It's just also my wiring, my personality. Maybe I should get tired. I'm talking from privilege. I'm really speaking from privilege. I am able to do what I do now because I have people who are very supportive of it.
Families have to get that support system.
Family events adjust to my schedule. Today is as we record today, it's my brother's birthday. So they moved it to dinner, and so I can do my thing the whole day. And even for my birthday, it needs to move around like when my schedule is clear, or sometimes when I have class. So if it's at my other brother's birthday, like last time, we had to have late dinner because my class ends at 8:30. I can only do what I do now because I also have a boyfriend and a partner who's like understanding that really work comes first because it's my bread and butter. And I don't have this very essential responsibility that, the kid, the life of that kid depends on the feeding depends on my body, my breast. If you're breastfeeding, I don't have that kind of responsibility now. So I'm speaking from privilege because I can just move things around according to my liking and my schedule. But to be honest with you, that's one of the things also that's keeping me from shying away talking about having kids and having family, because I'm scared of what I'm gonna be giving up in order to prioritize that. Because for now, it's really just my thing, my work, and my self-improvement, which is my law studies now.
Right. That's a lot to at the same time, right?
I know that's quite heavy. Sorry, guys. That's quite heavy.
Yeah, but I like what you said, and I think just as a disclaimer and coming from me, I also had that fear, of letting go, which I had to because I already had the baby. But like, I think also because of the need that I have to get paid, I have to have at the end of the day have food on the table. I also want to get paid, but at the same time, I also want to fight for what I love and do. And you know that I'm still in the creative.
Is there really no other way to just do it in 3 months?
I wish.
9 months of conceiving and then another like endless years of looking after the baby. Pero crucial for you was, how long was it after you gave birth that you really had to concentrate?
I really had that commitment while I was pregnant, because I remember this one girl who said, "Ay, kayang ka." So I was, I was like,
How I? Who is she? Later.
not like, I'm asking her sincerely, why is that? Why is that, Saya? Like, because I was always positive and also made sure that even after giving birth, I know that I'm still gonna be doing what I want, and I know that I will still be providing for my daughter and half and half with my partner, diba? So I guess it's really like you said, you have to be tough to be in this industry, not necessarily freelancing, even corporate na field, all the more corporate field kasi 9 to 5 and even more yung commitment. But like, what I'm trying to say is for both parties, for both sides, you always have to sacrifice something, but like it's not necessarily like ikaw with the kids, it's not there yet, but there's always something that you need to parang stop for now or not prioritize for now and just keep doing what you like to do. And I want to make sure that I impart that to my daughter. Parang, wherever you are, whatever season you are, you're gonna fight for what you want. Nobody's gonna tell you na sayang ka.
Sayang?
Parang I don't want her to grow up na have that kind of mindset na you're lacking in something or something is holding you back. Parang you can do it. Anything that you believe na you
Just take your pace.
Yeah, and you're easy.
I have co-hosts who are actually mothers. Yes, I have co-hosts. I have friends. I know hosts who are mothers, and even while their mom was already showing, they'd still host.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I remember meeting with a friend one time, and she was like, "But you can still host while you're pregnant." And I was like, "Have you seen me host?" She was like, "Oh, I haven't." Well, you have to, because she's also a mom. You have to see me host first and see for yourself if it's really feasible for me or even safe for me to be pregnant and host that way. Yeah, kasi I'm very active in hosting. I really try to engage the audience. But maybe because I haven't really crossed that, so that's why I have a lot of inhibitions now, because I have not crossed that yet. But I know it's really doable. My mom would always tell me, you won't be doing it alone. Yeah. But like, so can you carry like 6 months, say free for me? 6 months.
They happen hot like.
No, they like diba? Can we share that? Oh, look at the yours.
No.
Oh, there sana pwede.
I hope we have the option.
Oo, sana pwede ihanap. Pero right now, I have also seen hosts who are not as eloquent. They don't need to have the twang, the accent. Sometimes there's even like challenges in the subject-verb agreement. But one thing is the same for all of the hosts is that they started despite and in spite of. And you would eventually learn, eventually improve if you're willing and you're open to criticisms and evaluation or comments.
There will always be comments. There will always be
comments. Pero kana lang, ang common regard is they were available and they showed up and they keep on showing up. And same thing siguro sa kuha. So right now, 14 years and of all my observations, I really can't say that you have to be this, you have to be that. Because there's slim, there's also a voluptuous host.
I like that you challenge the norm. I think overall that's the concept for you. You can challenge the norm, you challenge what's accepted. Parang that. Because why? I mean, even for that question, sayang ka, like that. You know why? Like, di ba? Why not? Why not? Why not show up as a plus size girly, or why not show up? You know, it's not about that. It's not about how you look, but you deliver at the end of the day.
Yeah, you deliver. Just you know you make it. That's how you deliver. Fake it until you wrap it up and you get paid. And then you can go home and then go back to that sad thing again. Yeah. So going back to that question, what I answered when I was asked that through chat, do you think bagay ko mag-host? Ate, do you think bagay ko mag-host? And I was like, absolutely. And then he was like, I don't know how to start. Like, how should I start? And so for him, I asked him, so what are you up to now? So nasa corporate din siya. So I said, if you really wanna do or start, volunteer sa next na kahit na may nagpa-vivo, volunteer, kahit na pa-secret lang, can I do the hosting? Volunteer to be the host for maybe the next company birthday party event, or
there's a for your corporation.
Yeah. There's a lot, no? Anniversary or founding, whatever, tapos Christmas parties. So that's what I told him. And I was like, try not to overthink it now. And I'm not gonna give you the advices now because everything will be in theory. So later na lang, when you actually have it na, when you're actually about to do it na, then maybe we can, have a 10-minute call and I'll just orient you and set the expectations for you. And some tips.
I like how you're so open to, or trying to democratize parang mentorship to these
passing them like that.
Oh, yeah. Why? Kasi did you experience that as well? Parang
Definitely. I started with Ma'am Karen Kamalinda. I started with just really the microphone. I didn't know how to dress up. Dili ko malarte. And I basically hosted. I don't know if I even wore makeup the first time we met.
The first time we met was 12 years ago through a birthday party, and she was hosting.
I don't think I wore any makeup at all.
No.
Boy cut.
You were, you had black frame glasses, and I think you wore a black and white shirt.
Yeah, I look unlike Sisai, the Korean because of those black frames. So after one side became famous, I was like, I'm gonna ditch these frames kasi
I have to do it. Dapat ako lang.
Baka mother dyan. Hindi na pwede. Really, it was really because of him. Hindi ako pwedeng mag-black.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So I think that was it. Being mentored, and Ma'am Karen never shoved to me her, ideas of how you should be as a person. She just let me be. And then up until I warmed up to a lipstick.
Because Tita Karen, she always dress up for the event. She's always that type. She always comes prepared. Pero I get what you mean, that she doesn't necessarily you should do this, you should do that.
She does not dictate you to be this and that. She just allowed me because she really saw the potential. Parang, as for the hosting, sure, you can really do it. And I remember we had a 2-hour conversation na parang, you can really do it. And parang something how I look, how I present myself. She's like, how are you gonna get there? How you get there? I mean, you will eventually know the importance of dressing up and putting on makeup and investing on them. For now, you'll just have to just keep on doing.
It set the tone for how you brought yourself in this industry. Parang you started off by showing up, not necessarily having everything in place.
Yeah,
slowly adapting to the work of looking the part.
She Ma'am Karen really invested time to just talk to me and also share with me her personal experiences that maybe I can apply to myself. When talking about mentoring, it's not na parang, she did not magnify na parang, this is who I am, this is ganyan. But she shared experiences that apparently, years later, I would really need. And I would really hear her also na parang, Parang I remember Ma'am Karen talked about this before. No, it's happening. Parang it's happening.
So that talk was necessary. That mentorship session was necessary.
Yeah. And I really appreciate her for just being honest about it, the realities of also the industry, just to really prepare me. And when I mentor, I do away with teaching you how I do things. Because you have your own you do you.
That's
you do
true.
you. And I just really try to check in with just with a tone or with a message. But don't be condescending, don't be arrogant, don't be ano mo yun.
And don't just somehow like the basics, diba? Like mga tapos.
Things that we are and things that we are not always we are not conscious about. We do it unconsciously towards people we are comfortable with, but apparently if you do it in a large setting, it may be offensive. So I try to catch them doing that. Pero as for the mentoring, it's just really setting the expectations for them and validating also. I remember Ma'am Karen also validated my insecurities, like that one. Okay, rin mo put gani. Okay, rin mo Ma'am Karen. I won't wear makeup. I'm like this and that, and also a fun outfit. Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, you're still growing. You're just gonna
Nikko, it's not the Nikko.
You're gonna be like that forever. You're eventually gonna find your way into the world."
Yeah.
Yeah. Siya nga, but for now, I'm actually paying you because you can do the job. And as to how you will look doing the job, well, that's up to you. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
So I remember also Ma'am Karen before she always pays me ahead of time or she gives me down payment because I might need it to prepare. Like maybe I want to buy something, clothes or makeup for the event. It always remember her doing that. Now we do it for, of course, to secure, for you as the other party, the co-supplier, to secure just in case they will cancel or just to really secure the booking. But before, she would always say, Taganti kadaan, baka mo kuan, na kagamitan, pamiliti, transpo.
That's so considerate of her.
Yeah. I'm always for as long as I will remember, for as long as I have my memory intact, I will always credit her for the growth. 14 years and maybe another 14 more. Ewan ko.
Your mentor is also my mentor. I also credit her back. So yeah, same.
Yeah. Medyo softy lang ko, pero yeah, I'd still hear all her messages from before. So now I try not to police, my junior. Naunsa man ni nako, I will just really wait for her to approach me, and usually it's really unpacking things and try to listen. I'm like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've experienced that. So now it's not about like do what I do, be like me. It's just really maybe you can respond better now than I did before because I was clueless and I was too soft. Yeah.
Talking about like the advice that you mentioned, like secretary Megan and stuff like that. Is there any other thing you wanna give to the audience or to anyone who wants to be in this kind of industry or wants to start? What would you advise?
I just really hope they will not anchor their whole identity as their host, and I really hope that outside of their jobs, they are really they have their foundation set on like things that are essential. Like I really hope that they have figured out, what they are and who they are, like from their family, friends, something like that. Because this industry really puts you in a bright spotlight, and thinking that people will think na, oh, she's on the spotlight, she's on the stage, and we see her, and she's in front of everybody, and syempre, they would think na they know you, and they can just simply comment. And siguro may unang advice. So how do I make it this very, very simple? Just be very secure and grounded. Kasi the comments, they can be misleading in the same way that the compliments can also be misguiding you. And so, like, I remember since you dress up well and you try to project yourself well, because that's what a good host should be. You have to be able to, capture the attention of the audience and to make the whole preparation. This is the culmination of all the preparations. You have to give justice to that. I remember before that, up till now, actually, they would think they're very approachable, and especially they would know, she's not yet married. So, dili-kalikayan that some gentleman, some fellow would approach you and they'd be interested. And there was a time I was single, and so there was this guy actually entertained. He met me during one of my gigs. I think he was part of the entourage. Not a Nino, because they're off limits. I don't know. I don't remember if he's the best man or the groomsman. So this is about, being secured. And so I dated him after, we met in that event, talking stage and stuff like that. And there are a lot of things that happened also in my personal life. And there was this one time that we had a conversation, and he was like, "Oh, but why are you gloomy? Why are you sad? You're like the happiest, you're like the jolliest person I know." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, but you met me in an event where I was paid to be my jolliest version of myself, because that's, what I'm supposed to do, to make the event lively, to give life to the event." So you have to be really secured in yourself and try to filter things out. And on the other side of it, you could be hearing a lot of compliments. Try not to get that into your head, because some would just really compliment you because they would want your recommendation. A client would approach and they would need these suppliers. Diba? So you have to be very grounded. Always go back to your family and friends, and try not to be very, try to be very careful in trusting people in your workplace. Like, really set your mind that I am here to work. If I make friends out of this, like, that's really a good plus. That's like icing on the cake. But my mom would always say, be very, very careful, because some people are just like really nice to you, because that's what professionals do. You have to maintain kindness, respect, mutual respect. But try not to overshare and open up, and, ground yourself with family and friends. Your vulnerability should be there. Family and friends, that's going to be your safe space. But your workspace is your professional. So you have to put some boundaries on. Yes, put some boundaries. 14 years siguro, because our industry is very fun.
It is, yeah. And a lot of people, there's a network.
Fun. It's really play. It's almost like really play. And you are in an artificial environment where it's fun, and you are made to believe that, these are my playmates, these are my friends. Something like that. And one of the mistakes I did was that nagkalat lang ako. Parang I was not able to separate that this is work for a time. I think this was a time na I was overwhelmed. Yeah, so I okay myself out. So and I bled through, like I overshared. Yeah, so I was not able to protect myself by establishing boundaries. Mm-hmm. So now I know that what my mom told me before na really maintain professionalism in the workplace. That's what she meant by it. Mm-hmm. Like, really be secured in who you are. If there are compliments, say thank you. If there are comments, filter it out. Because maybe you don't really need it for the job. If they're gonna comment to you based on something personal, but yet they don't know you that well, maybe you don't really need to entertain it. And just go back to your safe people and ask them, is it true? Am I really like this? If they would agree, then maybe that's when you actually ponder on it. And like, baka, something I need. So, kana lang siguro, because as for skills, you're gonna get it along the way. That's one thing I promise. Because your efforts will never betray you. Your efforts will never betray you. That's what I learned. Whatever you have, and if you hone it, it will really produce fruit. It will really bear fruit. I have never actually witnessed somebody sobrang nag-effort, tapos ang ending kay parang flop.
Right.
Yeah, it will really be
Doing it right.
I was doing it right. Anyway,
It will always flop if you're not. If you're doing other things.
iba yung effort pala.
Your intention is different. But if you're sincere and you're intentional about mentorship or like paying things forward or like just doing the job well, I believe it will bear fruit.
And it's very important, like, with you, how you started also, diba? It's very important na if you start here, I hope you won't expect that you will get bookings right away and stuff like that. As for me, if you follow me on social media, I'd always just usually get tagged on posts. But after a certain bad experience in one of my with one of my clients years before, I said to myself, I'm gonna settle with mouth-to-mouth advertisement. Like, I'm not gonna be printing business cards and promoting myself. Word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth advertisement and
Recommendations.
yeah, recommendations. I'm not gonna be posting it. But if you would really want that, because there are also other MCs na really good with marketing. Yeah.
It's funny how you say that because right now, being in advertising, I feel like right now there's a lot on social media and there's noise.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer and I got my job because of a referral. So I feel like I am a firm believer that if you just have word of mouth and you have people who recommend you as like a love language, I think that is enough.
Referral, but you're in an international company.
Yeah, because my client, I had a client who was my client in my old company 4-5 years ago, and then I told him like, oh, so I became a mom. I'm looking for a job, but I really just want to be hired directly. And so, okay, I have a friend, and so I've been working with his friend for like 2 years now, and ended up as a senior partner. So who would have known, right? So I wasn't advertising myself on LinkedIn like I'm looking for a job and stuff like that. I tried those, but I felt like that there really is a disconnect because I'm a very intentional person. I really like working for a cause. Yeah, I think so. If I believe in the mission and the vision of the company, I would love to stay there. So, like you said, parang I love the word of mouth approach. Like that's really important.
That really dispels, sometimes it can be simplistic with my thinking because I grew up mostly in the province. Yeah, majority of my lifetime is in the province. I've always thought that word of mouth advertisement, it usually works just really in the province or like a small city setting. So like hearing from you who like works with international clients, like, pwede pala di ay gihapon. So you really can't limit. There's really no limits to things for as long as you really put yourself out there. Just really one. It's amazing. Okay, I'm back. That's a big, but dispel.
I mean, you're lucky or blessed to be having people or clients who recommend you.
Yeah.
So I'm just really happy that has happened for me in this lifetime kasi everyone's just doing a really good job or maybe competitive, maybe single or maybe like at the peak of their career. Katawa si Minmin sa at the peak of their career, like you're available like you said, but I'm not. So parang the word of mouth really helped me get through.
I really hope sometimes, I really hope God will really bless them or the universe will really bless them because there are some people who would recommend me without even me knowing. They won't even message me. Some kasi are also very intentional na parang needs. I have a friend, a relative pala, they need a house, ganyan. So like, I recommended you, ganyan. But there are some, no, never get nag-mention. And then ang client na lang pag moingon.
Actually, did that to you. I recommended my girlfriend kasi wedding.
Nikko about Nikko. Siya yung like, yung end na nag-meeting na everything, nag-shoot na,
So you didn't know?
No, and then after, I actually man, si ano mo yung nag-recommend, ganyan, like, well, Lord, sana i-bless ni mo sila. I remember posting about it kasi like there's just really no way for me to know kinsa kayo sila. But I hope everything works out for them. Like, make things work out for their own good, Lord, please. Kasi it's really amazing. It's amazing and
It helps a lot.
And right now, I'm also planning na maybe I should start na since I'm already getting my certificate. Maybe I should start na. But I already have enough experience, ganyan. But then I also have this other thing because, we both go to the same church. So that is one factor I leave to God. Like parang, I'm not gonna do it all by myself. Parang this is one area I'm gonna leave to God. Parang this is one thing I will do, and it's really up to Him now. That's my faith then. Kasi we tend to try to do things, everything on our own. So there's that. That's one thing also that's hindering me. But it is highly recommended for you if you really want to thrive and, get more clients. Like, go put yourself out there. Yeah, but that's just me. That's just really me. Sa amin na lang din ni Lord. One time, almost again, if I don't mag-shoot na ta, let's sprint to this one. But then I just also had a moment, one of those quiet times sa parang, okay, sige Lord, it's yours. So now, that also helps me balance the time with my law studies. So
how is it that going, by the way, like doing law?
I am struggling.
I am struggling a lot. Good that you say that kasi you'd be like, amazing si Nikko. She's not like, she doesn't look like she's struggling and like she's doing a lot.
Yeah, but I try not to complain about it because first thing, I'm still single. Like what I said, I don't have, humans feeding me. Then hindi ako nagbe-breastfeed. So I just really am in charge of everything. Like I get and say, even when boyfriend is very understanding, he's like, sige, he will be the one to adjust. Same with my mom. So sige, kami mag-adjust mo. So I don't want to complain. I'm really blessed to even, what a privilege to say, I'm so tired today, I'm so drained, and so on. Because, there are a lot of things I do. But yes, I am passionate about these things, but I am telling you, I did not start off very passionate. I started off needy. I had to earn because I moved out of my parents' house at 19, just when I graduated college. So I really had to find ways to earn and to, live by myself. So there was a need. And it's just amazing how passion will really grow, especially when it's very aligned with your wiring and your personality. Perhaps if I'm doing programming, stuff like that, I won't flourish because I'm not aligned with that one. But it's just also alignment. Yeah. So same case, like if you're not aligned also with hosting and with facing people, something like that, then maybe it's hard for you to flourish. It's also one thing. Kasi sabi ni Nikko, anyone can do it. Regardless of the skill, just as long as you show up.
I think I want to mention this. Parang, like you said, by your host, you have to be in front of a lot of people. And what if like you're really introverted? Although, we're here, we're hosting and stuff like that. But like, parang, I just want to share this that I feel like we're trying to rewire personalities a lot, that we box them in a certain personality. You have to be outgoing, you have to, and like forcing it is like producing really parang bad outcomes. I feel like we just need to refocus and understand that these are our strengths. Yeah. That we are introverted, and somehow the way we brainstorm is different from outgoing people. We don't parang join groups a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean we can't do the work, that we can't host.
Yeah.
I am pretty introverted, Nix, and I feel like doing this is, like I said, training. And I'm not practicing to be a host, but like doing this is really helpful for me in articulating my designs or my pitches better. And I feel like this is something that we in Co-Create wanted to do because we just want to pay it forward.
I think you're only referring to speaking up, like, because you're very good with your writing, how you caption, how you, all the wordings in all your work are really amazing. Like, oh my God, those are very big words. Those are very, like big girl words. Yeah, so I'm also introverted. I grew up introverted. One thing we share in common was that we grew up an only child. You're still an only child now, but I have two brothers. So I have two brothers, but we are years apart. Like 18 years apart with you.
Oh, you'd still consider that as being an only child. You were an only child for like a long
time. So hosting and performing, by the way, because I also perform, is like an alter ego.
Right. So it's Patricia, not Nikko.
It is. Like they would refer to me na parang sinasapian siya. Because before the event would start, I'd really be in an area. Up until recently, I'd really be just in my own space reading because I'm comfortable that way. And then with my earphones on, signaling to not talk to me, go away. I'm just really preparing myself. So up until recently, I would really join, drinking sesh, and tambay bonding with my co-suppliers. But before, not very much, not really very much. So, I enjoy it because I get to step out of, the usual Nikko. My mom would always say, I rarely even hear Nikko diri sa balay because she's always reading. I'm always reading. I'd be, curled up in my room just reading my bed. So it's the event, the hosting is actually my way to also experiment with myself. Ganyan.
Nice.
But that's not my identity. I'm not always like that. That's also very healthy to be that way. Yeah. In fact, my favorite hobby is just to do nothing.
Same.
Creatives will relate to this.
It's really a privilege to do nothing. Yeah.
Baka maano na naman. I'm stop yung
And yeah. So I think before we wrap up, I just wanna, plug Nikko. So where would we be able to find you, like on socials or
on socials lang po? Please do not go to my house. I will not open the door for you.
Yeah, on socials, and then like diba, you also host the radio, and then like your schedule and stuff. So maybe you wanna share.
It's just really Nikko Ratilla. That's NIKKO RATILLA on Facebook. That's personal and that's business. I just really am not that techy to have a lot of links for my Instagram and Threads. Please do not find me there. Stay away from it. And also for the locals, like the province, they can listen to me at 88.9 DXF. And the rest you can see sa Facebook, so that I won't have to keep on plugging myself here because I've been saying a lot of things already. We're on our last 5 minutes.
Right. So thank you so much, Nikko. I really enjoyed our discussion, and we hope to see you next time, maybe in the future, another hosting session or whatever, So we're pretty excited to do another of our podcasts. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you, Nikko, so much for you. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you.